Have you ever been in the middle of a sentence and watched someone just stop listening? Not because what you said wasn't smart, not because you were wrong, but because something invisible made them tune out before you even finished. Now flip that. Think about someone you know, maybe a colleague, a friend, a mentor, who walks into a room and without saying a single word, the energy shifts. People turn, people pay attention, and this person didn't shout, didn't demand anything. They just arrived. What is that? What do they have that most people don't? I became obsessed with this question. I studied leaders, negotiators, elite actors, top-tier salespeople, and what I found surprised me. It wasn't charm. It wasn't looks. It wasn't even confidence in the way most people think about it. It was a set of invisible codes, 7 of them, that these people use without anyone noticing. Physical, behavioral signals that bypass the logical brain and speak directly to something older, something more primal inside every human being. And today, I'm going to walk you through all 7. I do want to warn you about secret number 7. I almost kept it to myself, because honestly, it's the one that holds up all the others. Without it, the first 6 are just performance. But I'm going to share it with you anyway, because once you understand it, everything changes. So let's get into it. Take notes. This is not theory. This is repeatable. And it works starting today, even if right now you feel completely invisible. Secret 1. The 3-second trap. Let's talk about your eyes, because right now, without realizing it, your gaze might be destroying your credibility before you say a single word. Most people think that making eye contact is enough. Look at the person. Check. Done. But there is a massive difference between glancing at someone and actually holding their gaze. And that difference is what separates people who are listened to from people who are politely tolerated. Here's what happens when your eyes dart to the floor, to the ceiling, to your phone, to literally anywhere else. The other person's brain reads it as a signal, not consciously, subconsciously. And the signal it reads is, this person doesn't fully believe what they're saying. Think about it. We've all been in a conversation where someone was telling us something important, but their eyes kept sliding away. Did you feel fully convinced? Probably not. You felt something was off. You didn't know what it was, but it was there. Now here's the fix, and it's almost embarrassingly simple. It's called the 3-second rule. The next time you're speaking to someone, hold their gaze for just 3 seconds longer than feels comfortable. That's it. 3 extra seconds. Those 3 seconds do something chemical in the other person's brain. Without knowing why, they think, this person is grounded. This person means what they say. This person is worth listening to. Now, I want to be clear about something. I'm not telling you to stare someone down like you're trying to win a blinking contest. That just creates aggression and discomfort. Instead, try this micro adjustment. Rather than locking directly onto their eyes, focus on the bridge of their nose, the space right between their eyebrows. From a foot or 2 away, the other person can't tell the difference, but you'll feel more relaxed, and you'll still project that steady, calm confidence. Here's the critical mistake you must avoid: breaking eye contact exactly when you're saying something important. If you're asking for a raise, setting a boundary, making a bold claim, and in that precise moment, your eyes drift away, your body is literally trying to escape your own words. Your message gets cut off at the knees. Train yourself to stay present with your gaze during your most important sentences. Before anything else, get this one right. But here's the thing. Holding eye contact means nothing if the rest of your body is broadcasting insecurity. And that's exactly what Secret 2 is about, because people have already decided whether you're worth their attention before you open your mouth. And it all comes down to something you're probably doing wrong right now. Secret 2. The invisible code of space. Walk into any room, a meeting, a party, a networking event, and you'll notice 2 types of people almost immediately. The first type makes themselves small. They drift to the walls. They hunch their shoulders slightly. They walk with their chin slightly down, like they're apologizing for taking up oxygen. Their whole body language says, please don't notice me, I'm just passing through. The second type walks in and the room adjusts to them. Same room, same people, completely different energy. What's the difference? Their relationship to space. This is deeply rooted in our evolutionary psychology. For tens of thousands of years, the human brain has been reading physical space as a signal of social status. When someone contracts their body, crosses their arms, hides their hands, sinks into a corner, the ancient part of your brain reads that as submission, and you respond by granting them less weight, less credibility, less attention. But when someone moves through a space with ownership, feet planted firmly, chest open, arms visible and relaxed, that same ancient brain reads it as leadership. And without any conscious decision, you pay attention. Here's how to apply this starting today. When you walk into any room, resist the automatic pull toward the nearest corner. Instead, move toward the center. Stop for a moment. Breathe. You don't need to make a big show of it. Just give yourself permission to be there. Walk like you have a right to be in that space, because you do. When you sit down, don't collapse into the chair like you're trying to disappear. Sit with intention. Take a second to settle. Let your arms rest openly on the table or on the armrests, visible, relaxed, uncrossed. That single adjustment communicates more about your confidence than almost anything you could say. And when you're speaking, use open gestures. Let your hands move away from your body. Don't barricade yourself behind crossed arms. Crossed arms build an invisible wall between you and everyone else in the room. This might feel strange at first, especially if you've spent years making yourself smaller, but give it a week. Start noticing how differently people begin to engage with you. Now, this spatial presence is powerful, but it falls apart if your spine is telling the wrong story. And Secret 3 fixes that. It's simpler than you think. But most people are walking around every day with their body broadcasting defeat. Secret 3. The geometry that decides who's in charge. Your spine is telling a story right now. In this moment, as you watch this video, your posture is communicating something to every person who can see you. And for most people, what it's communicating is, I've been worn down. We spend hours every day hunched over phones and laptops, neck bent, shoulders rolled forward, chest caved in. And then we walk into important situations and wonder why we don't feel or look like we're in command. Your muscles have developed a memory, and for a lot of people, that memory is the shape of exhaustion and defeat. But here's a mental image that can rewire your posture almost instantly. Imagine you're wearing an invisible cape, not a heavy, dramatic cape that drags you down, a light, flowing one that rests on your shoulders and gently pulls them back and open. Your chest lifts naturally. Your chin rises to be parallel with the floor, not tilted up arrogantly, not dropped down like you're searching for loose change, but level, forward, present. That's it. That's the geometry of authority. Now here's a practical exercise to build this as your default posture. Choose a trigger every doorway you walk. Through today is a posture reset. Before you step through, shoulders back, relaxed, not military stiff, chest open, chin level. It takes 1 second. Do it every single time you pass through a door for the next week, and I promise you, your resting posture will shift permanently. One warning, don't overdo it. If you go rigid and stiff, people will see you performing. Forced posture is almost as bad posture because it signals that you're uncomfortable in your own body. The goal is relaxed, open, grounded, not parade ground straight. And this is where I need to tell you about Secret 4. Because even if your posture is perfect, if your movements are screaming anxiety, all of this work collapses. Most people have this completely backwards. They think about how they stand. They forget about how they move. Secret 4. The tempo that separates leaders from followers. Here's something I want you to observe. Next time you're in a room full of people, watch how the insecure ones move. They move fast, not because they're busy, because they're anxious. They pick up a glass of water like it's an emergency. They drop into their seat. They shift weight from foot to foot. Their gestures are sharp and reactive. Everything about their movement says, I'm responding to the environment. The environment controls me. Now watch a person with genuine authority. They move differently. They move like they set the pace of the room, not like the room is rushing them. They don't drag their feet, but they don't dart around either. There's a steadiness to everything they do. And without saying a word, their body communicates, I decide the rhythm here. This single quality, tempo, is something elite negotiators and leaders study for years, because people who control their pace are read by others as calm, in control, and trustworthy. Here's your one action from this secret. For the rest of today, slow every physical movement down by 10%. Not dramatic slow motion. Just remove the unnecessary urgency. Pick up your coffee deliberately. Sit down with intention. Walk with steady, consistent steps. Turn your head calmly when someone calls your name, instead of snapping toward them like you've been startled. This microscopic adjustment does two things simultaneously. Other people perceive you as someone who is not rattled, not desperate, not reactive. And this is the part that always surprises people. You will actually feel calmer. Your mind follows your body. When your movements are slow and deliberate, your nervous system interprets that as safety, and your anxiety physically drops. There's one more layer to this. Before any important action, before you speak up in a meeting, before you respond to a challenge, before you make a significant request, take a 2-second breath. Just 2 seconds. That micro pause pulls you out of reactive mode and drops you into intentional mode. People will feel the difference instantly, but your tempo is only one part of the story. There's another thing that's broadcasting your internal state to everyone around you, and most people have absolutely no idea it's happening. It's your hands. And Secret 5 is what the world's best politicians and performers spend years studying. Secret 5. The secret language of your hands. Right now, without thinking about it, your hands are telling everyone in the room exactly how comfortable you are. And for most people, the story they're telling is, I'm nervous and I don't know what to do with myself. Think about what nervous hands look like. They dive into pockets. They grip a phone for no reason. They touch the face repeatedly. They fidget with a pen, a ring, a sleeve. They lock behind your back or barricade behind crossed arms. Every one of these behaviors sends the same message. I'm not at ease here. The good news is that once you know about the power zone, you can fix this quickly. The power zone is the space between your chest and your waist. When you're speaking, your hands should be moving naturally within that zone, illustrating your points, emphasizing your ideas, giving physical shape to what you're saying. Notice what that looks like on confident people. A hand that opens outward when making a point. Both hands that frame an idea in the air. A palm that faces upward when asking a question. A subconscious signal of openness and honesty. These movements aren't random, they're purposeful. They have a reason for existing. Compare that to nervous hands which move without purpose. They adjust a button, they scratch an arm. They press together in a kind of quiet prayer that screams, please let this be over. There's one specific habit I want you to eliminate starting today, and it's the crossed arms position. A lot of people think crossed arms look relaxed, almost cool, like you're casually unbothered. But what you're actually projecting is defensiveness, closure, a wall between you and the person in front of you. Unless you're consciously using it as a power position in a specific context, drop it. Your action item. The next time you're in an important conversation, let your hands move freely within the power zone. Don't force specific gestures. Just let them express what you're saying naturally. And when you're listening, keep your hands visible and still, resting on the table or relaxed at your sides. Visible, not hidden, but there's something even more powerful than knowing how to move. It's knowing when not to. And that's what Secret 6 is all about. And it's the one that almost no one understands. Secret 6, the stillness that commands more than any gesture. Nervous people cannot stop moving. It's almost physiological. Watch someone who's uncomfortable, and you'll see a constant low-level motion, bouncing a knee, tapping fingers, adjusting clothing, touching their hair, shifting in their seat every few seconds. Their body is trying to release the tension that's building up inside them, and it destroys any authority they might otherwise have. Here's the insight that changed everything for me. Knowing when not to move is more powerful than any gesture you can make. Stillness creates anticipation. When someone goes completely calm and quiet, physically still, every brain in the room activates. People wonder, what's about to happen? What are they about to say? The silence of your body creates a vacuum, and human brains instinctively need to fill it. Think about every powerful figure you've ever seen. in movies, in real life, in history. The most commanding person in the room is almost never the most animated one. They're the one who sits quietly while everyone else reacts. That stillness isn't passivity, it's control. It's the ability to be comfortable in your own body without needing constant motion to prove you're okay. Here's the exercise that has had more impact on how people perceive me than almost anything else on this list. The next time someone asks you a question, any question, but especially an important one, before you respond, become completely still. Don't adjust your posture. Don't reach for your water. Don't nod aggressively. Just breathe, stay still, and let 2 full seconds pass. Those 2 seconds will feel enormous to you, but to the other person, they will register as, this person thinks before they speak. This person is measured. This person is not rattled. There's a second application. After you say something significant, make a bold statement, share a strong opinion, deliver important news, resist the urge to follow it with nervous chatter or fidgety movement. Let your words land. Stay still. Give the silence permission to exist. People will feel the weight of what you just said far more powerfully than if you immediately fill the space. Combine stillness with everything we've covered so far, and something shifts. People begin to treat you differently. They listen more carefully. They give you more space. They respect you more. But here's the honest truth. All 6 of these secrets, every single one, can fall apart without the 7th. Because Secret 7 isn't about what you do with your body. It's about what you carry inside it. Secret 7, the invisible frequency that decides everything. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine 2 people. Both walk into the same room. Both have read the same tips about posture, eye contact, gestures. Both are trying to project confidence. One of them is performing. You can feel it. A slight tension in the jaw, a microsecond delay in the smile, something that's almost right, but not quite. And your instincts say, there's a gap between what this person is showing me and what they actually feel. The other one walks in, and you don't analyze anything. You just feel something, a kind of gravity, a sense that this person is comfortable in their own skin, that they belong here, that they're not trying to convince you of anything. You're just drawn in. What's the difference? It's not the posture, not the eye contact, not the gestures. It's a frequency, an internal signal that your body broadcasts before you do anything at all. And no amount of physical technique can fake it if the signal isn't real. Here's the hard truth. If you walk into a room full of doubt about yourself, whispering internally that you don't belong here, that people are judging you, that you're not qualified, that you're somehow less, your body will reveal that. Not in obvious ways, in the micro expressions that flash across your face in a fraction of a second, in the tension in your shoulders that never quite releases, in the quality of your breath, in 1,000 tiny signals that people can't consciously identify but absolutely feel. You can't project genuine confidence while running a background program that says you're not worth it. So how do you build the real thing? Not through affirmations, not through a single motivational video, including this one. You build internal confidence through evidence, specifically through micro-actions every single day that prove to your own nervous system that you take yourself seriously. Exercise, not to look a certain way, but to feel strong in your own body. There is no substitute for the internal shift that comes from physical strength and consistency. Get dressed intentionally, not to impress others, to respect yourself. How you present yourself to the world is a signal you send to your own brain about how seriously you take your own life. Keep the small promises you make to yourself. This is underrated to an almost criminal degree. Every time you say you're going to do something and you actually do it. Wake up when you said you would. Finish what you started. Follow through on something small. You deposit into your own self-trust account. Over time, that account becomes the foundation of real confidence. And here is the most important thing I can tell you. In this entire video, the pose can be seen. The presence is felt. You can teach someone all the right moves, the eye contact, the posture, the tempo, the stillness. And if their internal frequency doesn't match, people will sense the gap. But when who you are on the inside aligns with what you project on the outside, something extraordinary happens. People don't just notice you, they trust you. They're drawn to you. They listen before you've even said anything. All 7 secrets work together as a system. The eye contact, the spatial ownership, the posture, the tempo, the hand language, the stillness. They all amplify each other, but they all rest on this last one. Without the foundation of genuine internal frequency, everything else is theater. With it, you become someone who doesn't need to demand attention because attention finds you. Here's your challenge for this week. Don't try to implement all 7 at once. Pick one, just one. Practice it consciously for 48 hours until it starts to feel natural. Then add another. Build the system one layer at a time. 7 codes, 7 shifts, and a version of you that walks into any room and makes every word matter. Start today.